Hello students. In the series of the game theory videos, the next topic that we are going to cover is the subgame method. Now the subgame method is applicable only when you have either two rows or two columns, which means that either of the players, whether player A or player 2, should have two strategies only. So if player A has two strategies, player B may have more than two strategies, that can be 3, 4, 5, or player B may have two strategies. So such type of method is applicable only in case of 2 into n or m into 2 type of problems. To apply the subgame method, first we go on checking the saddle point. If it is not there and the criteria of two strategy is fulfilled, then we can move ahead with the subgame method. In the subgame method, you have to make smaller subgames out of the bigger game. So you can make use of many subgames, and out of the final subgame solutions, we find out the value of the game. That is different if player A has two strategies or player B has two strategies. Now let us learn the subgame method with the help of one practical question. Now see, this is a practical question which we are going to solve with the help of subgame method. Here we can say that player A has two strategies and player B has more than two strategies. So we have already discussed that whenever in any question we have two alternatives with any of the players, player A or player B should have two alternatives and the other player may have more than two alternatives. So this method is applicable in 2 into n or m into 2 question. So here I can see player A has two alternatives, so easily we can apply the subgame method. Now before applying the subgame method, let us check whether the problem has a saddle point or not. That you have to check in every question. So you can apply the method of row minima, column maxima, or we can draw circles and squares. So if I look at this row, the minimum out of this row comes out to be -5. So I'm putting a circle over here. And out of this, again, -5 is the minimum. Out of this, maximum is this, maximum is this, maximum this one, maximum this one, and maximum this one. So we can see that there is row minima is not equal to column maxima. So here the game does not have a saddle point. One player has two alternatives. So we will start the question with the subgames method. Let us write this question clearly once. Now we will start with the process of solving the question with the help of subgames method. So we have to start by making the subgames out of this entire full games. So we are going to make 2 by 2 subgames so that we can solve them further. So what we will do is we will start with the first subgame. This is my first subgame, subgame 1. So we will name it subgame 1. So what we will do is we will take player A on this side, player B on the above, and 1, 2, because player A has only two strategies. So I am choosing now first and second strategy of player B. Instead of taking the full question, I am taking first two strategies. So -5, 5, 8 and -4. This is my first subgame. It means you have to extract 2 by 2 subgames from the full questions, as many as subgames possible. Right? So how we will solve this? If possible, with the help of pure strategy, we will solve this 2 by 2 game. If not possible, we can solve it with the odds method. We can solve it with the dominance method, any method. So let us see whether this has a saddle point. This will be minimum. No, it will not have a saddle point. So it is better to solve it directly with the help of odds method. So odds 8 plus 4, 12, -5, it will be 10. On this side, odds 5 plus 4, 9, 8, 30. So it will be 22 from both the sides. Right? So from here we will find the value of game, as we have already learnt in case of odds method. It will be -5 into 12 plus 8 into 10 divided by 12 plus 10. Right? So with this we will be getting the value of game as 20 by 22, or we can say it is 10 by 11. So this is the answer of first subgame. So like this, I will be designing more and more subgames. And side by side, you have to note down this first answer you have got. Right? So we will keep on doing this. Let us go ahead with the second subgame now. So now coming to the second subgame. Now subgame 2. Subgame 2, I am taking now player A. It will have a fixed strategy 1 and 2. But here now I will be taking first and third. Earlier I took first and second. Now I am taking first and third. So first and third here. -5, 0, 8, -1. -5, 0, 8, -1. So I am taking first and third strategy for player B. So now I can solve this problem with the help of saddle point. If it is there, let me check whether there is a saddle point. No, there is no saddle point. So of course, again, we have to solve this with the help of odds method. 8 minus -1, it will be 9. It will be 5, 14. It will be 1 and 13. Right? So now from here, we will calculate the value of game. It will be -5 into 9 plus 8 into 5 divided by 9 plus 5, that is 14. So from here we will get -5 upon 14. So this is the second value of game that we got from subgame 2, -5/4. Again, we will note it down separately that this was the answer of second subgame. Now let us extract the third subgame. For player A, strategies are fixed 1 and 2, while for player B, now I am taking 1 and 4. So it is -5, -1, 8 and 6. -5, -1, 8 and 6. So now let's check whether the game has a saddle point or not. Yes, this game will have a saddle point. So row wise circle. This is the minimum. This is the minimum. Column wise maximum. This. So now here we need not apply odds as we are directly getting the value of game to be 6. So I will note this value also again on site. Now coming to our subgame 4. For player A, again we have two fixed strategies, while for player B, now I am taking first and fifth strategy, 1 and 5 strategy. So here -5, 8, 8 and -5. Now let us check whether this subgame has a saddle point or not. No, it will not have a saddle point. So directly we will apply odds method over here. So 8 plus 5, 13, -5, -8, it will be 13, 13, 13, 26 on both the sides. So from here we will calculate the value of game. It will be -5 into 13 plus 8 into 13 divided by 13 plus 13. So from here we will be getting the answer as solving this. You will get 39. And below in the denominator, we will be getting 26. So by reducing it, it will be 3/2. So this answer we have got 3/2 now. So we will note it down again and moving to the next subgame. So now we are moving towards the subgame 5. So earlier we have taken 1 and second, then 1 third, 1 4, 1 5. Now we will start with 2. Okay, so player A, first and second strategy. Now we are taking for player B second and third strategy. First and second we have already taken. So we are starting with second and third strategy. So values are 5, 0, -4 and -1. So now let's check whether this has a saddle point. Yes, this will have a saddle point. Row wise minimum, row wise minimum, column wise maximum, column wise maximum. So here the value of game comes out to be 0 in the 5 subgame. So let us move on to the next subgame. Now we have subgame number 6. Again for player A, 1 and 2 strategy. For player B, now we have taken second and third. We will now take second and fourth strategy. It will be 5, -1, -4 and 6. 5, -1, -4 and 6. Now let us check whether this game has a saddle point or not. No, it will not have a saddle point. So of course we have to solve it with the help of odds method. So -4, -6, 10, 5 minus -1, it will be 6. -1, -6, 7 and it will be 9. So total comes out to be 16 on both the sides. So value of game 5 into 10 plus -4 into 6 divided by 10 plus 6. 5 into 10 minus 4 into 6 divided by 10 plus 6. So from here it will be 50 minus 24. That will be 26 divided by 16. So if we can reduce it further, it will be 13 by 8. So this is the answer of 6th subgame. Let us move on to the next subgame. Now this is our subgame number 7. So for player A, again 1 and 2 strategies. For player B, earlier we have taken 2nd and 4th strategy. Now I am taking 2nd and 5th strategy. 2nd is 5 and minus 4. 5th is 8 and minus 5. Now let us see whether this game has a saddle point or not. Yes, it will have. So row wise minimum will be minus 5. Column wise maximum is this, and column wise maximum is this. So here I am getting a saddle point. So here value of game is 5 in the subgame 7. Now let us move on to subgame number 8. Now in subgame number 8, A has 2 strategies. For B, now we finished with 2 and 5. Now we will start with 3 and 4. Third and fourth strategy. It is 0, minus 1 and 6. Now let us check whether this game has a saddle point. Row wise minimum. No, it will not have a saddle point. So we will solve this with the help of odds method. It will be 7, positive 1, minus 1, minus 6 will be 7. It will be 1. So here 8 is equal on both the sides. Now value of game 0 into 7 plus minus 1 into 1 divided by 7 plus 1. So it will be 0 minus 1. So here the answer we will get is minus 1 by 8. So this is the answer of our subgame number 8, minus 1 by 8. Now let's move on to subgame number 9. Subgame number 9, and for player A, again first and second strategy. For player B, we have already done the third and fourth strategy. Now we will take third and the fifth strategy. It is 0, minus 1, and fifth strategy is 8, minus 5. Now let's see whether this game has a saddle point. Yes, it will have row wise minimum and column wise maximum. Okay, so here we can see that value of game comes out to be 0 in the subgame number 9. Let us make the next subgame. Now coming to subgame number 10. Now for subgame 10, now we are done with the third strategy. We have finished doing this with the fourth and fifth. Now only this is left, 4 and 5. So player A, first and second strategy. Player B, fourth and fifth strategy. Minus 1, 8, 6 and minus 5. Now let's check whether it has a saddle point. No, it will not have a saddle point. So we will have to solve it with the help of again odds. 6 plus 5, 11, minus 1, minus 8, it will be 9. On this side 13 and 7. So it will be 20 from both the sides. So now we will calculate the value of game. So value of game will be minus 1 into 11. It will be minus 11 plus 9 into 6. 54 divided by 20. So it comes out to be 43 by 20, or we can say reducing it further, we can it cannot be reduced further. So 43 by 20. So this is the value of last subgame. This is all we have designed, all the subgames, maximum subgames possible, and we have reached at various solutions through different subgames. Now just have a look at the answers that we got after solving all the subgames, 10 subgames. So now on this side we can see how many answers we have got and the value of game that we received from various subgames. So now out of these answers we have to choose the final answer. Which one is the value of game for our original question? These are the answers for the small subgames that we created from this original questions. So how we will locate it? You have to now check which player has to choose. Now, if you look at the question, player A has two strategies. He need not see anything. He is fixed with two strategies. It was player B who has to choose because he has more than two strategies. So player B, we all know that player B is a minimizing player. So minimizing player means out of the answers, you will be choosing the minimum answer, the minimum value. Another way to remember this point is that your condition of 2 into m or n into 2, how it was satisfied? It is satisfied row wise. 2. We told that in the subgame method is applicable, either of the players should have two strategies. So which player has? Row wise we can see, row wise two strategies were there. Two rows were there. And row wise we always take minimum. So we have to choose minimum out of these. So which one is the minimum? I can see from my answer, this is a negative value and this is a negative value. So let us convert these values in points to have our final answer more easily. When we solve this, this comes out to be minus 357. And when we solve minus 1 upon 8, it comes out to be minus 0.125. So out of these two, which one is the minimum value? Of course, we know that this is the minimum value out of 2. So we are choosing subgame 2 as our final answer. Now, for just you cannot leave the question here only. Now, finally, you have to show another subgame, same subgame 2 again, that we are choosing this. Now, let's show this subgame again. So before concluding, you will be writing this line that of course player B has to choose, and he is the minimizing player. So he will be making use of minimum value of the game. So now minimum value of the game we have got in subgame 2. So now you will make this subgame again for showing the final answer. You will be writing subgame number 2 and player B in that subgame you have to see which strategies were there. In that case, it was first and third strategy for player B. For player A, it was always fixed first and third strategy. And if you look at your subgame 2, we have already solved it. You just have to copy it here. From there, we have already done. So we have already done. And if you look at that, we have solved it with the help of odds method. And the odds we have got was 9 and 5. And it was 1 and 13. 14, and from here we have got value of game minus 45 plus 40 divided by 9 plus 5, that is 14. So we have got the answer of minus 5 by 14. So you have to show it again, right? So this is the value of the game. Now besides showing the value of the game, we have to show the probability of selecting the strategy also. And that probability will be clear from this final answer only. So you will be writing probability that, firstly I am writing for player A, that player A will choose. So player A is choosing first or second strategy. He has only two options. So player A will choose the first strategy. Player A first strategy 9 by 14. And player A will be choosing the second strategy. It is 5 by 14, as we have done in case of odds, same, but you have to show from this subgame. Same we will do with player B. So player B, probability that B will choose. So B is going to choose which strategy, first and third. From the final subgame you will see. So probability that B will choose the first strategy, it is 1 by 14. B will choose the second strategy is nil dash. B will choose the third strategy. It is 13 by 4. Third strategy 13 by 14. Then B will be choosing the fourth strategy nil. Fifth strategy nil. So these are the answers of the probabilities that we will be showing. This is our value of the game and these are the values of the probabilities. So this was about the subgame method. Now this is another example. Now here you can see we are presenting the question column wise. In the previous example you have seen that player A was having two strategies, but in this question player B is having two strategies. So now the question will be entirely same, but the only difference will be subgame will be designed from column wise. Earlier we have designed it row wise. So let us first check whether the game has a saddle point or not. Row minima. Row wise minimum we take 1, 3, 2. Column wise maxima. So 11, 8 and 3. So 1, 3, 2, 1, 11, 8 and 3. Oh, sorry, this was the row minima only. So now you can just compare 1, 3, 2, 11, 8. So no value is common. So it means the game does not have a saddle point. This you can do by doing circle and square also, you will find out. So as it is not possible to solve the problem with the help of pure strategy, you will write this line. Now we are moving towards the mixed strategy and we are trying to apply subgame method. For subgame, let us check whether any of the player has two strategies. Yes, player B has two strategies. So our condition of 2 into m or n into 2 is satisfied over here. We can move ahead with the subgame method. Now let us start making the first subgame. So our subgame number 1. Now player B will have fixed two strategies, 1 and 2. Player A, first I am taking first and second strategy for player A. So strategies are 1, 3, 8 and 5. Now let us see whether this game will have a saddle point or not. Yes, it will have. Let us see. Row wise minimum, column wise maximum, column wise maximum. So now you can see that this game has subgame has value of game as 3. So let's note it down and move on to second subgame. Now in the subgame 2, player B fixed first and second strategy for player A. We have taken first and second. Now we will take first and third strategy. So first is 1, 8 and third is 11 and 2. Now let us see whether this subgame has a saddle point or not. Row minima, no, it will not have a saddle point. So we have to apply odds over here. So 11 minus 2 will be 9, 1 minus 8, 7, ignoring the negative signs. And odds 8 minus 2, 6, it will be 10. So total comes out to be 16. So value of game will be 1 into 9, that is 9, plus 77 divided by 16. So from here we will get the value of game to be 86 divided by 16. And if we solve it further, it comes out to be 43 by 8. So this is the answer of our second subgame, 43 by 8. Let us make now third subgame. Now for our subgame number 3, B will have same strategies 1 and 2. We have done with first, second, first, third. Now only one is left, that is second and third. So 3, 5, 11 and 2. Let us see now whether this game has a saddle point or not. No, this will not have a saddle point. So we will solve it with odds. So it comes out to be 9. It is 2, 3 and 8. So total comes out to be 11. So from here value of game 27 plus 22 divided by 11. So it is 49 by 11. So this is the answer of third subgame that we got, 49 by 11. Now let us choose, because the subgames are done. All the subgames we have designed. In the previous example, there were more strategies. So more subgames were designed. Here maximum 3 subgames can be designed. Now we will have to just note down all the answers that we got. They were, so from the answers of the subgames, we have got these 3 values, 3, 43 by 8 and 49 by 8. So which one to choose? Now you have to see which player has to choose. If we look at our question, you can see that it was player A who has to choose, who was having the more number of strategies. Player B was having fixed strategies, player A was having 3 strategies. So it was player A who has to choose now. And we all know that player A is the maximizing player, so he will be choosing the maximum value, right? So which one is the maximum value? Let us make it point wise so that we can have a more better conclusion. This comes out to be 5.375 and 49 by 11 comes out to be 4.454. So now we can very clearly see this is the maximum value. So which subgame is chosen? Second subgame is chosen. So player A, maximizing player, he is choosing the maximum value. Now what you have to do is again same. You have to make this second subgame again. So our second subgame, for player B, the strategies were fixed. For player A, In the second sub game, we have taken first and third strategy. You simply have to copy what you have already done. First and 8, 1 and 8, 11 and 2. So if you will look back, we have solved this sub game with the help of odds method. So if the values were 9, 7 and here the values were 6 and 10. Total was 16 and you have to show again the value of game. 1 into 9 plus 11 into 7, 77 divided by 9 plus 7. You have to give this in proper detail again. So here we have got the answer as 43 by 8. So this is the value of game. That will be the value of game for overall question. So now we have to write in the last strategies as well. So let us write those strategies. So probability that first we will write for player A. Player A we are seeing will choose, player A will be choosing the first strategy. Player A is choosing the first, yes, first strategy. And the probability is in the odds only 9 upon 16. Probability that A will be choosing the second strategy, it is nil because see, second strategy is not there in this game. Probability that A will be choosing the third strategy, 7 by 16. Now same we have to write for B also, probably same line you will be writing. Probability that B will choose, player B will choose the first strategy and the second strategy because player A has only two strategies, that is 6 by 16 and second is 10 by 16. So these are the answers of probabilities and this is the value of game's answer. So this is how the questions of sub game are solved. We have seen both type of questions, row wise as well as column wise. Thank you.